So the Game Awards 2020 featuring Geoff Keighley just wrapped up, and wow, that was something. It was a show. It was an award show. There were some awards presented, usually in rapid fire succession, because we don't really care about the awards themselves. We care about the celebrities announcing these awards. Every time Geoff Keighley would talk about an award, he would pretty much have a stone face. But when he talked about a new celebrity that was going to be presenting an award, the man lit up like a Christmas tree. Don't believe me? Go ahead and watch the show for yourself, and you will see clearly that. But obviously, one thing that everyone looks forward to during the Game Awards is the game announcements, the reveal trailers, the new information about video games. And really, this was kind of an interesting year because there was a couple announcements, there was a couple decent announcements, but other than that, it was very, very quiet. So we're going to go over why Nintendo and Microsoft definitely stood out amongst the pack when it comes to Game Award announcements, what the big announcements were, and maybe try to figure out where the hell Sony was at this event. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about the Game Awards 2020. So realistically speaking, there were two announcements that I cared about at the Game Awards 2020, and they both happened pretty early on in the show. Now, let's talk about some other games that were announced or showcased and things like that. Crimson Desert looked kind of interesting. That frame rate seemed like it was a bit all over the place. It looked sort of like an Elder Scrolls or a Dragon's Dogma game, a single-player narrative that has MMO-like stuff attached to it as well. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. This is a game that's been in development for quite a while. It's been revealed before, but the new trailer that we saw looked interesting enough to make me want to find out more about the game. The new Dragon Age was there, and I mean, it looked okayish. You got a nice CG trailer, as you do with most of the games at the Game Awards, because nobody cares about gameplay. They, of course, care about CG trailers. We also had a little presentation done by the London Philharmonic playing some Mario-related music, because everyone loves Mario music. I thought it was weird that they did like a Super Mario Galaxy song that was already orchestrated in an orchestrated format. Like, you literally could just pull up the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection on your Switch, go to the music player and press play, and I don't think anyone would have cared. You know, it seems kind of like a waste of money to hire the Philharmonic, but I'm sure Geoff Keighley has a lot of money to waste. There was a new Evil Dead game, and all of a sudden, like, people are like excited about an Evil Dead game. May I remind you of previous Evil Dead games? Because, you know, the ones on the PlayStation 1, the one on the original Xbox, they were not good games. It's nice to see Bruce Campbell, of course, but I like how Geoff Keighley said this was one of our favorite horror franchises, but maybe from movies, but when it comes to video games, nobody likes Evil Dead games because, well, they're just not good. One of the smaller announcements that definitely got me a bit hyped, though, was Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection coming to the Nintendo Switch on February 25th. I think this looks very interesting. Ghosts and Goblins is, of course, a very, very challenging game. I have never beat it, and you have to beat it twice anyways to get the true ending of the game, but I do think that this looks pretty cool. It's nice to see Ghosts and Goblins come back, and of course, this was stuff that was available in that Capcom data leak, so it looks like pretty much all of that stuff is true, and we're getting a Monster Hunter Rise demo in January for the Monster Hunter Rise, which is coming to the Nintendo Switch. That game also got a new trailer, so I thought that was very cool as well. But the two big things, of course, has to be the Super Smash Bros. Character announcement and Perfect Dark. We're going to talk about Perfect Dark first. Yes, Perfect Dark is in development for the Xbox branded systems. It is being done by the Initiative, and we got a CG trailer of sort of what to expect. It looked like sort of like, you know, Middle Eastern setting, you know, an Abu Dhabi-like setting, a very prestigious looking futuristic style city. At the end of the trailer, after you get some like sort of drone footage that's going on there, a character refers to a female character as Joanna Dark, and I think this got a lot of people excited. This is something that Microsoft needs to do, and Microsoft needs to start showing off these games that these studios are working on. You could sit there and buy a million different studios, and nobody's gonna give a shit unless these studios are making big games, unless these studios are making games that people are interested in. And a lot of people have been wanting a Perfect Dark game. I am a fan of the Perfect Dark franchise. The N64 game was really fun. Perfect Dark Zero, not so much. There was actually a really good Perfect Dark game on Game Boy Color that nobody ever played. But I'm just not quite sure that the Perfect Dark name is going to hold a lot of weight going forward. I don't know how fans who, you know, never played Perfect Dark, because you gotta remember, Perfect Dark came out, what, like 20 plus years ago? There are people that are playing video games now that have never played a Perfect Dark game. So I'm not quite sure how successful it's going to be. Obviously, that's sort of contingent on what the gameplay style is. We didn't see any gameplay. Some people are thinking it's going to be a third-person adventure game instead of a first-person shooter, which I'm not quite sure how well that would go over, but it was definitely great to see that Perfect Dark being confirmed, that Perfect Dark is actually a thing. But the biggest announcement for the Game Awards arguably came from Nintendo of all people, with Sephiroth as the next Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character. Sephiroth got an absolutely awesome trailer as well, and as someone who's definitely come around to Final Fantasy VII in the later years of my life, as a kid I never really got into it quite as much as everyone else did, but I can appreciate the game a lot more nowadays. I played it when it came out once again on the Nintendo Switch, and I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was one of my favorite games of the year. And I really enjoyed this game, and to see Sephiroth in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is definitely very cool. I'm very interested to see what else they're going to add in with Sephiroth as far as, you know, different character moves, stages are concerned, and of course musical tracks, because there wasn't really many Final Fantasy VII related musical tracks that was included for Cloud, and so many people have fond memories of that soundtrack, so hopefully they could sort of rectify this. And it's very interesting that now 2 characters from Final Fantasy VII, a game that really hurt the N64, because originally it was supposed to be an N64 game, but Nintendo went with cartridges. Squaresoft got mad and then went over to the PlayStation brand and made the PlayStation brand, the PlayStation 1, the dominant RPG system of that time frame, and it really sort of hurt Nintendo. So it's really crazy to me to see it just come full circle with Sephiroth being announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Cloud is already in there. It almost makes you wonder, could Final Fantasy VII Remake end up coming to the Nintendo Switch in some way, shape, or form? I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. It's definitely very interesting to add in another Final Fantasy VII character, so you gotta sort of think outside of the box when it comes to this. Now, there will be a presentation on December 17th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I live on the East Coast, so that's the measure of time that I use. And Sakurai will be talking all about the Sephiroth character, showing you character moves and things like that. They did say the character would be coming out in December. They're going to announce a release date at this presentation as well, so that is a very cool thing. I'm also interested to see if any new Mii costumes are going to be included as well. But beyond that though, this show was, I don't know, it was okay. I mean, it was a show. It's just like every year my complaint is the same. It's not about the video games. It's not about the game developers. It's not about the awards themselves. It's about all the Hollywood bullshit. And you know what? Hollywood bullshit is just disgusting to me, because at the end of the day, the video game industry makes more money than Hollywood does. Video game industry does not need Hollywood. If anything, Hollywood needs the video game industry. And that's why these people, you know, getting a pass and getting able to be seen here, it's like, I don't care about these people. These people have $1 million lifestyles. I care about the game developer who's making 50, 60 grand a year living in San Francisco, which if you live in San Francisco, you know that 50 grand a year is peanuts. That's barely a studio apartment. I care about those sort of stories. I care more so about that sort of thing. But Geoff Keighley just seems to have this fetish for Hollywood people, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. And another thing is, Sony was very quiet at this event. They were kind of quiet last year alongside of Nintendo, but this year there wasn't a peep out of Sony. We didn't learn about any new first-party games coming to the PlayStation 5 or get new trailers for them or anything like that. It almost feels like the Game Awards is sort of losing its luster. When you look at the announcements year over year, you used to get big sort of announcements. Remember, like Bayonetta stuff and No More Heroes stuff, and, you know, the Xbox Series X system being unveiled. But now it's like this year, there wasn't that same sort of passion. There wasn't that same sort of fire, and I really feel like it brought down the show overall. Really, all you need to know about is Sephiroth is coming to Smash and Perfect Dark is coming to Xbox. Everything else was pretty much stuff that we already knew, or stuff that really in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a deal. Oh yeah, Mass Effect is continuing. They literally did a trailer to say that Mass Effect is continuing, not say a game name, not show any sort of gameplay footage of a Mass Effect game or anything. No. They just said the series isn't canceled. Wow. But those are my thoughts on the Game Awards 2020. 2 cool announcements, everything else I just didn't really care about all that much. But let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the Game Awards 2020. Did you enjoy this show? Does this show just sort of need to go away like a lot of people think it does? Or maybe just sort of shift its focus to, well, I don't know, actual video games instead of Hollywood people? And as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.